it's Tania Gabrielle here, Wealth Astro-Numerologist. Welcome to Star Codes. This is the forecast where we look at an astrology and numerology event that is upcoming to help decipher the message so that we are aligned and ready to really be activated and supported as the event unfolds. In this case, July's 13 universal month number, to be specific. 13 is such a powerful number, and we're finally moving into a space in human history where 13 is not seen as a negative or detrimental or something to be feared, but is understood for the magnificence that it is. It is really one of the most powerful numbers we have. And since it's activated in July, it's a wonderful time to get to know this incredible vibration even more deeply. So July is the 7th month of the year, and 2022 adds up to 6. So if we add all those numbers together, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 2 plus 7 equals 13, which is how we arrive at the 13 universal month for July. And 13 is what I call the number of the divine feminine. 13 governs the moon's cycles. We have 13 lunations in a year, and we have 13 weeks in a season. 52 weeks in a year. Divide 52 by 4 and you get 13. So when you see the correlation between the lunar cycles, the seasonal movements, the moon moves around the Earth every 28 to 29 days. This is all about being tuned in to nature, to being open to change. And 13 does represent change, life, death, transformation. And through the release process, we open doors to something that is new and invigorating. And so we purify, and then we get excited and passionate in the present moment. And this is really the cycle of the 13, which is why it's so empowering. Because if you didn't let go, imagine if you always carried the same bags on your shoulder and never took anything out and never replenished, you would soon really not be alive. You would shrivel up because there's nothing invigorating and enlivening and sustaining in the process of not changing. So 13 reminds us that change actually is the most empowering thing you can do. So it is connected to cycles, and this is why also because of the lunar cycles, it is connected to the divine feminine and the cycles of the feminine cycles that we go through as women. We're born and we have, after puberty begins, our rhythm that unfolds, and it is connected to the lunar cycles. So 13 is one of those numbers where once you get to know it and accept the empowerment aspect in your life, you are open to really embrace not just birth, but the connection between birth and death. So death, of course, is something to be feared in our culture, in our way of seeing things, and it shouldn't be, because it actually is natural. I mean, the 4 seasons, the plants and the trees, they go through their process, right? The leaves, they fall off the trees and they die, or the plants rejuvenate and the perennials come back, and some die and don't come back, but then their seeds germinate in a new way. So a seed is a good way of looking at this, is when something comes to the end of its season, or which is cyclical, or comes to the end of its life, then a seed is planted, and that seed has been planted throughout the life of whatever the being is. And after the being departs, that seed germinates, because there is always the process of growth in addition to the transformation. So we want to accept both. We need to accept both, because in order to grow, we need to transform. So one doesn't even come without the other. So we have this embrace of change, and that means the embrace of life and death and transformation. So if you only focus on one part of the process of change, meaning the death part, then of course you're going to be afraid, because, that's the last thing we want to focus on when we're alive, is not being alive. So in July, we are basically being asked to vibrationally align with the fact that life changes every moment. And if we can surrender to that flow, if we can surrender to development of your life, especially the surprising part of your life that develop over time. 13 loves to surprise, because in the surprise itself, you must use your intuition. When you are taken off guard by something and it shows up in your life, you really have no choice but to use your intuition, because your mind cannot process often when something shows up unexpectedly. And that's why 13 also governs surprising event, unexpected event, because it literally triggers your ability to then, okay, let me tune in. What does my instinct say, right? You have a gut feeling and you trust that and you move forward, because your mind is not capable of going to where it needs to rationally dissect and analyze and make decisions based on bullet points that it comes up with. That is often not possible, especially as things move more rapidly, right? Which they are now, because we're in the midst of a major transformation on Earth to begin with. So embracing this number will set you up to feel a lot more joy and a lot more connection, because you're not resisting the shift within you that is propelling the shift that Earth is undergoing now, that humanity is undergoing now. So it opens up then a total trust in the universe. You're not second guessing, you're not wondering why, asking, why is this happening? Or poor me, or can't it be different? Wishing that things were not the way they were, instead of being so present that you can ground yourself, be the tree that has the roots, and any wind that comes, you're able to bend the branches and be able to receive the sun and receive the rain and let it soak in. And really the image of the tree is just beautiful here. And that brings me to the root number of 13, because 1 plus 3 reduces to 4. So the root number, the single digit number that 13 is aligned with, is the number 4. And if you look at, remember the 13 weeks in a season, we have 4 seasons. Incredible how the numbers line up here, because 4 is also the 4 directions. And so 4 represents a huge part of our human experience, and it's aligned with the 13. 4, the meaning of 4 is security and grounding and integrity and trust and honesty. And so 4 can also be architecture. It can be your home, your literal physical home. It is the ground. It is the earth. So it is the number that represents Mother Earth with the 4 seasons and the 4 directions. And so when the 13 and 4 are combined, you have both the fluid, transformational, changeable energy aligned with the very secure energy, which brings me back to the tree. So that visual that you can have in your mind of a tree that is secure due to the deep roots that it has in the ground, and soaking up the rainwater, and being patient, and then the leaves on the tree that grow and then fall away, that is the transformational part. That's 13, bending in the wind. So we have it all here in this number, and it is truly just to accept and surrender to the goodness of the universe, because the universe provides, God provides, Source provides, Spirit provides. Your soul connection, who you are, that's who you are, is this ability to tune in and be present and grateful at all times, no matter what appears. And when what appears is challenging, because of course we grow through challenges, it is to be proactive, to move, to not sit there and be frozen in fear, but to literally face the fear head on and move forward into a transformational experience that then changes the energy and allows it to flow again. It's like an eddy, where you may be in a canoe and you hit an eddy and you want to get out of it. And so you have to work a little harder, because you need to really focus your energy to move out into the flow of the river again. So a really powerful month that we're in. And if you recall from our last Star Codes podcast, the full moon in Capricorn is happening on July 13th. And so it is activating this number in a big, big way. So have a listen or watch that podcast. It truly is something that the universe wants us to align with, is this energy of transformation and empowerment through change and openness, and also to ground our energy in peace, in acceptance. So the Capricorn full moon embodies that, happening on July 13th in a 13 universal month. And it has another code that's really powerful as well, that you will discover in that episode. So yes, go discover your own numbers in your code. I have a free masterclass at starcodeclass.com, and it's just a great way to see what your numbers mean. For all you know, you have a 4, or you have a 13, or you have a 6 for 2022 is a 6 universal year. You want to know what those numbers mean, and they show up in your birthday, your birth certificate name, and in the degree numbers of your planets and angles in your astrology chart, and everything's explained to you. There's a handout for the free masterclass. So go have a look at that, because numbers really are important, and we have to always include them when we do our astrology, because they work in tandem. And without the knowledge of frequency and numbers, we miss out if we only look at one modality and exclude the other. They're really sister modalities here at the Astrology and Numerology. So you can learn all about that in that free masterclass in starcodeclass.com. It's instant access. So enjoy that and have a beautiful, beautiful month of July. Lots of love.